So what creates all of this? Well, it's a child who is parentified. You know, I, my heart breaks when I run into parents and they have a 7-year-old who acts like a 25-year-old, or whatever it is. Or I run into someone who's teenage years and they're already acting very adult-like. I'm like, wow, this child's childhood was stolen from them. They had to take care of a sick parent, or in a divorce, they became a surrogate spouse for one of the parents, or both parents used the child in the middle emotionally. Um, they were latchkey kids. They were left alone a lot and had to defend for themselves. It really comes from severe abandonment. They had to be self-sufficient because mom or dad weren't there. And some of that isn't mom or dad's fault. Like some situations, mom or dad just had to work to survive. But there's also the element of a parent. Usually the biggest cause of this is a parent who over attached to their child. They did what's called enmeshment. Our culture thinks this type of parenting is loving. That parent who's like, oh my God, I love my kid. I love my kid. All I do is think about my kid. Like I saw a woman on Facebook, took her daughter to college, and for a week she was posting stories this long of, she spent the first week of college with her daughter, hanging out with her daughter, and just writing stories of everything they did together. That's enmeshment. She can't let go. That poor girl has just been suffocated emotionally. That's not love. That's too much. It's not our job. It's not our child's job to make us feel special. And that's too often what happens in this dynamic. The child becomes the favorite, or the parent gets their emotional needs met through the child because they can't get it met through their spouse, or, with friends. That a healthy adult would not overly attach to their child. There would be a level of boundaries there so that our child can be independent and have healthy, what's called attunement, but not this smothering. So that's what's underneath it. Is it looks healthy and loving, but a parent who needs a child that much, the parent who's like, oh my God, my little baby's growing up and leaving, what am I gonna do? That's a mother or father who's enmeshing with their child. There's too much need to keep the child a child, so that it's this possession that they can keep close to them. So that separation that mom and dad go through when the child leaves off to school, that's a sign that the child was enmeshed with, and there's a codependent dynamic in childhood. And so this person, the reason they can't attach to you is of that smothering. Because underneath all of that massive attention is a massive abandonment. And so they're scared to death. You're going to do, if you know everything about them, you're going to leave them too. You're going to need too much. So what do you do about this? Well, in my experience, in working with couples, and in almost all relationships, you have everyone's codependent. I know you may not want to hear that, but every movie, every book, every love song, everything we've ever seen about love is literally love. What the model we've been shown of what a loving relationship is actually severe love addiction and love avoidance. All movies, just think of it, they're always walking away from each other, and then there's this grand poobah moment at the end where they come together. But that's the hallmark of love addiction and love avoidance. One is always walking away from the other. It's this dance. It's very manipulative on both sides. Now, the love addict, because their conscious fear is abandonment, they'll do the work. They're like, don't leave me. But the avoidant, their conscious fear is intimacy and connection. So it can be almost impossible to work with a severe love avoidant, because remember, number two, they refuse professional help. They refuse an outside critique and outside information. They refuse to be vulnerable and share who they are. They don't communicate the full story. Well, that's what professional help requires, and they're not capable of it. So if the question is, if you've been with somebody and they are just massively resistant to getting outside professional help, your chances of ever having a deep, intimate connection are basically non-existent, unless that changes. It requires both. This side tends to need too much. This needs too little. Both need to learn what's called maturity and moderation and get into reality about both of their situations and heal the codependence that they're both struggling with. And if the avoidant refuses to get outside help or invest in a program or something like that, then the current relationship you have is as good as it will get. It will not improve. And the more you yell and scream and threaten, it won't change anything. It won't. So your best bet is to set boundaries and no longer tolerate the behavior. And look at yourself and go, why am I still chasing somebody who's shown me over and over that they're not willing to commit? When am I going to love myself enough to say no to that? Because me chasing it isn't because I love them so much. It's because I love the deprivation. That's the part this side has to get into reality about, is where they're out of reality is this person is repeatedly and openly rejecting them through all of these techniques, yet they'll say, but I love them so much. No, I don't know how to say this. I'll try to say it as loving as I can. It's not that you love them. It's that you went through such abandonment as a child that you'll settle for scraps. And so this requires you recognizing, wow, you don't have to suffer anymore. It's time for you to do some healing work and get your self-esteem back and heal that abandonment hole, because you're worth it. It's not okay for someone to abandon you like that. It's not okay for you to accept it and put up with so little. You deserve more. You're worth more. And so are they. The difficulty is they're so detached from that truth, they may never pursue it. So I leave the choice up to you. Again, I highly recommend that you do two things. Go to my YouTube channel, watch my YouTube playlist, and then go to my website and go to the resource tab. When you slide down, I have several free downloads for codependence that'll really help you. I suggest you check that out. If you want to go further, then my suggestion is my online masterclasses, my complete emotional mastery method. You can find direct links to those masterclasses on my website, which is kennyweiss.net. And for the masterclasses, just go under coaching, self-guided. And there are 3 masterclasses dedicated to codependence recovery for both the love addict or I've been using this. This is the love avoidant, and this is the love addict. And so if hopefully you have a love avoidant who's not way out this way and they're more towards the addict side, and if you do, those master classes will walk you through the complete healing journey, because you both deserve to feel safe. You both deserve to feel connected and intimate, intellectually, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and those classes will show you how to do that. So there are your 7 characteristics. I hope that gives you a better idea of what's going on and how you might decide to pursue things in the future with the person you're with.